The NFC South is locked in and ready for the 2025 season, but who will win the division? Find out the answer coming up next.
And we coming for that dub like every day. Big beats hit streets, see gangsters roaming, and parties don't stop till 8 in the morning.
I said welcome to Atlanta where the Falcons play, and we going for that dub like every day. Big beats hit the streets, see gangsters roaming, and parties don't stop till 8 in the morning.
What's good, YouTube? Tackle Falcons in here back with another video, and welcome to something that has never happened on the channel. I'm doing a 2025 NFC South prediction video where I'll give you my personal thoughts on where they'll finish in the division, as well as recapping each team's offseason, all in a divine sense. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and without further ado, let's begin. So in 4th place in the division, I have the New Orleans Saints. The Saints' 2025 offseason was as much about ending as it was about beginnings. After a 5-12 finish in 2024, the team ushered in new head coach Kellen Moore to reset a stale offense, only to see longtime leaders depart almost immediately. Quarterback Derek Carr retired in May due to shoulder concerns, and just 2 months later, safety Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger, announced his retirement as well. So after the turnover, the team released defensive end Isaiah Foskey, a recent 2nd-round pick, and trimmed several veterans from the roster. It was a jarring reminder that the New Orleans Saints were no longer clinging to patchwork fixes. This was a reset from the ground up. In building forward, the Saints used the draft as their foundation. With the 9th overall pick, they landed offensive tackle Kelvin Banks Jr., a potential franchise cornerstone, before adding quarterback Tyler Shaw in the 2nd round to develop behind the scenes. Defensive additions like Vernon Broughton, Jonas Sanker, and Danny Stutzman further signaled a focus on youth. The team also signed a trade for wideout Devon Vele and picked up LSU prospect Trey Palmer on waivers. They also added offensive lineman Xavier Truss for depth. At quarterback, it was 2nd-year Spencer Rattler who ultimately won the starting job open shot, giving the Saints a young but intriguing leader as they begin a transitional era. While no one in New Orleans expects an immediate turnaround, the offseason showed a team embracing patience and purpose. By moving on from familiar names and betting on raw, hungry talent, the Saints made it clear they're planning not just for 2025, but for the future. It may be a year of growing pains, but for the first time in seasons, there is a clear direction, one that aims to restore the Saints as contenders down the line. Looking at their schedule, they have the 3rd easiest schedule in the league. It'll be very interesting to see what Kellen Moore will do this year. In 2025, I predict the Saints will have a record of 7-10. Given this is Moore's first season as a head coach, this is a healthy place for the Saints to be in 2025. Coming in at 3rd place, I have the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers' 2025 offseason marked a true changing of the guard, coming off a 5-12 season that showed slight improvement from 2023's 2-15 finish. Carolina leaned fully into a youth movement. Beloved veteran linebacker Shaq Thompson was released after a decade with the franchise. Defensive end Jadeveon Clowney was cut for cap space, and wide receiver Adam Thielen was traded back to Minnesota. Alongside the departures were role players like Hunter Renfrow and Shy Tuttle, leaving clear sign that the organization was ready to shed its past and focus on the future. The future came quickly in the NFL draft. With the 8th overall pick, Carolina grabbed wide receiver T-Mac, finally giving Bryce Young the kind of true number 1 target he has lacked. The Panthers doubled down on defense by drafting edge rushers Nick Scorton and Pretty Uman-Milan, while running back Trevor Etienne, the younger brother of Travis Etienne, added explosiveness to the backfield. Safety Leffin Ramson and defensive tackle Cam Jackson provided toughness, and later picks like Mitchell Evans and Jimmy Horn Jr. rounded out a class that addressed needs across the board. Smaller moves, such as waiver claims for cornerback Damari Mathis and rookie receiver DeLayvon Campbell, along with practice squad additions like Hendon Hooker and Anaya Smith, reinforced the team's emphasis on depth and development. Heading into 2025, the Panthers are still a team in transition, but the direction feels clearer than in years past. They are betting on Bryce Young to take a leap forward with better weapons, and on a defense revitalized by young talent to keep games competitive. While immediate playoff contention may be unlikely, Carolina's offseason showed a willingness to build for the long haul. For the first time in a while, Panther fans can look at the roster and see not just placeholders, but pieces of a foundation that could finally grow into lasting success. Regarding their schedule, they have the 7th easiest schedule, and I have them going 8-9. 3 more than last year, hopefully showcasing that this team will be heavy contenders for years to come. Coming in at second place, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers entered the 2025 offseason with the same mix of pride and frustration they carried since Tom Brady's retirement. The pride came from another NFC South crown, finishing 10-7, and proving their roster still had bite. Frustration came from the abrupt wildcard exit at the hands of Washington. A reminder, while still competitive, they still hadn't broken through as true contenders. Tampa's response was measured but purposeful. They locked down their foundation by extending Chris Godwin on a 3-year, $67 million deal and bringing back veteran linebacker Levante David, preserving the heart and identity of the team. The Bucs were not afraid to make tough decisions either, moving on from Kyle Trask and cutting rookie Desmond Watson, whose conditioning issues ended his stint before it even began. To strengthen their chances now, they added Hassan Reddick to juice the pass rush, signing journeyman and veteran backup quarterback Teddy Bridgewater for insurance. They also bolstered the offensive line with Charlie Heck. Then came the draft, where first-round pick Emeka Egbuka gave Baker Mayfield another young weapon, while Benjamin Morrison and Jacob Parrish injected much-needed youth into the secondary. Many people are asking why the Bucs decided to take a wide receiver when they had holes on defense. Their defense is aging, and it would have been better to draft a young defensive tackle that could learn from the veterans and merge into the next best Bucs defender. Taken together, the Buccaneers offseason wasn't flashy, but it was calculated. They protected their pillars, trimmed dead weight, added veteran depth, and drafted with balance in mind. Heading into 2025, Tampa Bay once again looks like the class of the NFC South, with the real question being whether Mayfield and the new additions can finally push them deeper into January instead of watching from home. With the 10th easiest schedule in the league, I have them going 9-8. Depending on how Week 18 turns out, they could either make or miss the playoffs, and it could all come down to the last team I will discuss. You guessed it, in first place, the winners of the NFC South will be the Atlanta Falcons. The 2025 offseason was a traditional one for the Atlanta Falcons, as the franchise sought to move forward from an 8-9 campaign and embrace a clearer identity. The most emotional departure came with the release of longtime defensive tackle Grady Jarrett, a cornerstone for the defense for nearly a decade. Atlanta also allowed role players like linebacker Nate Landman, linebacker Matthew Judon, and safety Justin Simmons to walk, signaling a shift towards youth and new energy. In free agency, the Falcons emphasized depth and experience over star power, adding veteran pass rusher Leonard Floyd, Divine Diablo, also bringing back cornerback Mike Hughes, while also retaining several special teams players and rotational pieces. These moves were not flashy, but they aimed to stabilize a roster around developing talent. The draft, however, that told the real story. With the 15th pick, the Falcons landed Jalen Walker from Georgia, then made a bold move by trading away a future first rounder to secure Tennessee's James Pierce Jr. with the 26th pick, doubling down on young pass rushers to reshape a defense that has long lacked edge presence. They rounded out the class with safety Xavier Watts, safety Billy Bowman Jr., and tackle Jack Nelson, loading up on defensive reinforcement while adding a developmental lineman. At quarterback, the team made it official. Michael Penix Jr. is the starter, while big money veteran Kirk Cousins slides into a backup role amid the trade rumors. That decision crystallized the Falcons' vision. This is Penix's team now. Combined with a youth-heavy draft and a free agency haul full of veterans to plug gaps, Atlanta's offseason felt like a turning up the page. The roster still may be a work in progress, but for the first time in years, the direction feels defined. To build a faster defense, lean to Penix's growth, and take advantage of an NFC South that remains wide open. The fourth easiest strength of schedule, I have them going 10-7. As I said before, Week 18, it determines everything, and that's how I think the NFC South will be in 2025. Recap: the Saints, last place, 7-10. Panthers, third place, 8-9. Second place, Buccaneers, 9-8. First place, Falcons, 10-7. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think will happen in the NFC South. Who do you think will win the division? Who will be last, first, you name it. Let me know in the comment section down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. This is for all sports fans to speak their minds. But with that being said, that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys for watching. If you have not already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new uploads. I'm trying to get to 100 subs before the season starts. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Also, be on the lookout for the Week 1 game preview as the Falcons host the Buccaneers, which I will upload next Thursday. Once again, that's going to do it for me. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time. Peace.